Hi folks, I bought a RunCam Thumb Pro camera for recording videos on my small aeroplanes. Andrew Newton does a really good series of video reviews of these cameras. However, in my video, I cover this topic from an absolute beginner's point of view. I go over the issues that I encountered and how I overcame them. These are the topics that I cover in this video. My GoPro 12 was too expensive to attach to one of my planes. Also, weighing it at 153 grams, which is more than some of my aeroplanes, was too heavy to attach. A viewer on my channel recommended the RunCam series of cameras, and they had good reviews, so I settled on the RunCam Thumb Pro. It only weighs 16 grams, and I thought at the time I could attach it to the power on the flight controller or the receiver, but in the end I didn't end up doing this. I had to attach it to an external battery. The Thumb Pro is capable of 4K at 30 frames per second or 2K at 60 frames per second, so I thought that would be good enough for capturing my flight images. I also bought a 64 gig MicroSD card for the camera. It does support up to 128 gig, but I thought 64 gig would be enough for my purposes. I found a 4-minute 2K 60 frame per second video uses about 1.5 gigs. I had a few challenges along the way and I'll share how I overcame them. Let's get into the unboxing and installation. The package comes with the camera, 3D mount, some screws and a connector cable. Okay, so one of the first things you have to do is peel off the sticker at the back. So we'll peel that off and it reveals a receiver controller adapter, and slide the cover off and there's space for a little micro USB SD card. I've purchased a 64 gig U3 rated SanDisk stream. Just insert that in, it's done. And there's a micro USB connector on the side which you use to connect to your computer. I have a micro USB to USB-A adapter here, and we'll plug that in. And the instructions say first thing you have to do is a firmware upgrade, so I'll connect it to my computer and do a firmware upgrade. The first issue that I came upon was that my computers would not recognize the Thumb Pro SD card as a U-disk. Normally when you plug it into the computer it comes up as an external drive. Now my experience with USB adapter cables is that they're not all created equal, and after trying about the 5th cable I actually found one that worked. I've copied the firmware onto the SanDisk manually and I'm just about to connect it to the power. According to the instructions it should automatically upload the firmware. The second issue that I had was that I was not able to update the firmware. When you power up the camera connected to a power bank, it should recognise this and do an upgrade, but nothing happened. On researching the problem, I found that I had the RunCam Pro W version, so I downloaded the correct firmware for that, and it worked. To configure the camera, you can't actually do it from a computer. What you do is you download an app from the App Store to your phone, Android or iOS. You set up your configuration that you want to change, and then it generates a QR code. You then point the camera at the QR code, and once it's recognised it, it changes back to red again. A little bit quirky, but it works. I selected the Firebird to be my first plane to test the RunCam on. It has a flying weight of 111 grams. The RunCam plus 1S battery to run it adds 32 grams to bring it to 143 grams. I mounted it at the centre of gravity between the wheels. Will it fly at this weight? Let's see. The RunCam video is inset. So it's flying. It feels heavy, but it's stable. Try and come down a little bit lower. Hey! Let's go and join those pigeons. Flying with the pigeons. Whoa, sorry pigeons. I think the battery probably won't last long using this amount of throttle for this amount of time. Really try some aerobatics, but it might crash the plane. We'll give it a go though. Yep, that was it. End of story. I never managed to recover from the spiral, but fortunately no damage done to the plane. Downloading the footage, I discovered that the camera had been set up to 2K with 60 frames per second by default. So next time I test it out, I'll try 4K 30 frames per second. 60 frames per second is probably better for action footage, but it doesn't quite give the same resolution as 4K. The camera comes with a gyro stabilizer, and what it does is it writes a video file and a gyro file. What you then can do is download the Gyroflow software, which is freely available on the internet to download. You then feed it the video file and the gyro file, and it then applies the stabilization data. It reduces the frames slightly, but it gets rid of some of the jiggliness that you get when you're flying a plane. Here are the results for comparison. Gyroflow also allows you to lock the horizon. This is a great feature to reduce motion sickness. Here's some footage I took a few days later. This is actually in 4K 30 frames per second, and I haven't locked the horizon. And here is the same footage with lock horizon set. Finally, I decided that I needed some additional mounting brackets so I could have one for each plane. I had a look on Thingiverse and I found a model for the mounting bracket that attaches to the plane, so I've printed off a bunch of those. So that way I can easily take the camera from one plane to the other and just pop it onto the mounting bracket and bolt it on. I attached the camera and the battery that supplies it with power either side of the CG on top of the Jump Racer. The flying weight of the Jump Racer Senior is 138 grams, so let's see how it goes with the extra weight from the camera and the battery. Right, we've got the camera connected up on the DMFV Jump Racer. It actually flies okay, but I didn't manage to get any aerobatics in this time. We seem to be flying fine with this extra weight. I'm having to use a lot of throttle though. And here's the view from Snoopy's perspective. I'm using the locked horizon option to reduce motion sickness. The camera's perhaps not mounted in the best spot because the front of the fuselage gets in the way. So, what are my thoughts on the RunCam Thumb Pro camera? Well, the DJI drone with its gimbaled cameras is a hard act to follow, but having said that, I think it's quite fun to be able to attach a tiny camera to my smaller planes. I may even try flying it indoors. The Gyroflow software is also quite useful as it allows you to smooth out shaky footage and also lock the horizon. This emulates what my drone does with its camera gimbal. Okay, the battery has run out of power. Time for an emergency landing, I think. Well, that's it for now, folks. I hope you found this video informative if you're new to the FPV camera scene. Upcoming projects that I'm working on, I have been testing out my new A380 3-channel foam indoor plane, and I'll be doing a video on that soon. And also I'm about to embark on a 3D printed plane that I can travel in a suitcase when I go overseas. So as usual, if you'd like to track my progress through my projects, consider subscribing to DavesFunRC, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.